Okay, so we are recording Awkward Menage with me, these two motherfuckers. Go with your question, Merce.
All right, so I'm sitting here and I'm just scrolling through these little headlines and stuff on my phone, and I see this big ass headline that says Detroit woman is $400,000 richer. What the fuck? After winning on Michigan Lottery's Big Spin show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I didn't know if this actually showed up on TV or if it was online because I didn't read this yet. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got this woman's picture all up on this motherfucker, like
Yeah,
live in Detroit, like.
that's what you do when you win the lottery too. I think you got to pay for them to not broadcast your information, but other than
Yeah,
that, they know everything about you.
you can have somebody claim it on your behalf. Like a lot of people, they'll hire like a law firm to claim it on their
Okay.
behalf. But yeah, somebody has to be uh, named as the
Shit.
winner, I guess, for legal purposes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this shit though. Ain't nowhere in the world, nigga. I'm about to fuck around. I would be like my man they had the picture of wearing the screen mask signing this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Are you? He came and claimed his own shit, but he ain't show his fucking face worth nothing.
Oh,
That's
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. I remember that one. Couple people did that, wore masks, so you can't tell who they are.
I mean, think about it. Look at like the local rappers fuck around and they go get like $100,000 deal to split between 6, 7 motherfuckers, and they still be fucking with them. So imagine being one person to get $400,000. And
Oh
now
yeah,
your face plastered all over the fucking newspaper.
the streets
Damn,
is
that
Nope.
shit
definitely
was insane.
watching.
Right,
Hell
always.
yeah, they watch.
Always. Okay, I guess that's
So you can't
sufficient
go
enough.
to a street and do nothing. Grubhub forever.
Grubhub forever.
You can't go to the restaurants because as soon as you come out that bitch, they robbing your ass.
Somebody,
Like,
right, somebody waiting for you.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to life in the hood, Joe. For
that
hard
ain't
into
even
that shit.
Detroit. That's any major city. But goddamn, I'm sorry. Like, can I get
Right.
out there before y'all try to rob me? I ain't even bought shit yet.
Yeah.
Like, shit. You can't
Right,
get
they
the
didn't even
money because
cash the check yet. You gotta wait a period of time for that too, right?
right now you got a motherfucker extorting you for the next 3 months.
Shit.
Till they see
That's
you
all
pull
that.
out some money or something, they just watch your
So I want to
ass.
bring back the discussion we had with uh Vic on drugs in the hood. I don't know if Vic's gonna be on the show, but I want to do a marijuana edition. And
Well, that's easy. Okay.
yeah, I know, right? Simple topic. We got a dude from Stoner Baby Podcast who wants to be a part of the show. Probably put that together pretty soon. But yeah, it's a real easy show. Legalize the shit. Whatever. It's not that big a deal.
I mean,
Weed. They got
I
some
agree.
new shit out.
I
I don't know if it's
agree.
just weed because I smoked some shit that had me so fucked up. Like, no.
I mean, quite
Watch what they
honestly,
doing.
if you would have listen, if you would have smoked with me back when I was still smoking weed for real, like shit, you would have felt the same way if you would have been used to like Reggie's and I hit you with the purple haze. Like you know what I'm saying? You would have been all
Right.
fucked. Wait, what the
No,
fuck
I
just happened?
started off with Reggie's, but no, for the most part, I was smoking Kush when I first started smoking. Shit, I was late. I started smoking at 26. Most people say like
Wow.
12, 13.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
shit, real shit. Like when I put like mind you, where I got so used to being high off perps and shit that I wasn't getting high no more. Right
mm.
when I quit smoking, I promise you, when I hit some kush, it was a completely different fucking high. Like you know what I'm saying? It was like wait,
Right.
like
What
personally,
is this shit?
like
Right.
I didn't like the high.
Got you. Got you.
I
Like
don't
that
want
shit,
Dang.
this high.
right? Like that shit was
Right.
too.
Yeah, that's how I
And
felt. Yeah, like this is not. It's too fucking high. Like nope.
like with
That's what
perps, I would
Travis
be
Scott was
high.
talking about.
I would be high as shit on perps, but it was like a smooth ass high. It wasn't like you know what I'm saying. Like I didn't watch motherfuckers that like smoke kush consistently, like act like fucking crackheads and shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers really
Man, yeah. But then that begs for me at least, it brings up the question: are we really just smoking weed? Like, are there dealers out there cutting it with something else just to get you a better high? So
I
keep coming
mean,
back.
shit.
What is it?
On that note, I think Popeye's cutting they fucking chicken sandwich because the motherfuckers ain't left them bitches alone yet.
Shit,
They
Coca
doing
Cola.
something. They
They
cutting them
probably
bitches
still
for
putting
quiet
crack in
down.
that shit.
Nigga, they
They got
add
that crystal crack in there.
like I don't know what the fuck going on with them chicken sandwiches, man.
Yeah, I haven't had one yet. Have you guys tried it?
I don't plan on getting one.
Yeah, I had
No.
one. It was on point.
What
It
I'm
was
saying though
definitely on point.
was it stab worthy?
I mean, nothing is stab worthy when you really sit back and look at it. But I mean, in the moment, it might have been poke with a fork worthy at minimum. Like might have sporked somebody for that boy because like it was on point. If you're in the
He just
area,
forked somebody.
hey,
Go
if
ahead.
you're in the area that don't have a Chick-fil-A, it's probably the best chicken sandwich
Yeah.
if you don't have a
Man,
Chick-fil-A
Chick-fil-A is
around.
that shit. I feel
Yeah,
sorry for y'all if y'all haven't experienced Chick-fil-A yet.
yeah.
That
So it's straight though.
I don't even know why. I don't even know if I like explain why I don't fuck with Chick-fil-A. But
Okay, another thing in the long list of lines. The long list of things that Mercenary does not fuck with. Number 5,743.2. Go.
no. Actually, no. I have a very valid reason for this. Okay, with
Okay.
Chick-fil-A being supposedly this Christian company, which is why they don't open on Sundays, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I see a dude like kind of like standing off to the side. He wasn't begging nobody for nothing.
Mhm.
He got a shopping basket and he just kind of looking lost. He fucking with his phone. So I'm trying to figure out like, okay, why this nigga got like a basket full of fucking look like laundry bags and shit.
Right. Did
I'm
some
at,
laundry maybe?
right. So I'm like, okay, well shit, maybe he's trying to get to the laundromat. And this is when I was living in Alabama, so let you know how long ago this was.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, this year in particular might have been like maybe 2008.
Shit,
So
it's not sticking.
I go to the Chick-fil-A that wasn't far from the house. It was like close to Guitar Center, which I used to live in all the fucking time, basically.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I see him. He's standing there, so I was like, "Hey, you need a ride to the laundromat or something?"
Mhm.
'Cause I'm figuring like, okay, maybe he just need a ride because he walking around with a big ass grocery basket.
Right. Right.
He was like, "Yeah, I do." He was like, I could use a ride. That'd be nice." I was like, "Well, shit, you hungry?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, bet. Come on,
All
get
right,
in."
bet. Let's go.
Right.
Chick-fil-A, my nigga. Let's do
I
this.
was like, "Throw your shit in the trunk, nigga. Come on, I'm about to grab you something to eat too." So I get up to the fucking like I place my order, get up to the window. They say, "Well, we can't serve you."
Hmm.
I was like, "You can't what?" They was like, "We can't serve you." I was like, "Why you can't serve me?" They say,
Cause
"Well,
you a nigga.
hold on, are you buying food for the gentleman that's in the car with you?" I was like, yeah." It was like, "Oh well, no, we can't serve you." So I'm like, "So y'all ain't gonna take my money because I offered somebody some food?" Well, no, it's just company policy. We can't serve you.
That's stupid.
So I was
Would the
like,
dude do something up there that you
"Oh,
weren't
shit."
aware of? Did
Not
he
that
like the
anybody,
motherfucking food?
not that anybody disclosed to me or him or anything else, and he was sitting there looking lost as fuck.
see,
So
I've had that happen once before. I I
What?
don't agree with it, but I understand the logic behind it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Because like
Which is okay. What's the logic?
the logic behind it is if because I had it happen to me in Coney Island here in the Yak, where it was a homeless dude standing outside just asking if you got a dollar, yada yada yada. I'm like, no, I ain't gonna give you a dollar, but I'll buy you something to eat. What you want? And he was like, man, I'm just trying to get something to eat. I'm like, yeah, I'll buy you something. What you want? He's like, man, just grab me a coney and a small fry. I'm like, all right, bet. So I went there to buy. I ordered my food, went back out to the car, and when I was coming back in, that's when I saw him. So my order had already been placed. And I tried to place another, and it was like, nah. And I'm like, why not? They're like, man, because my man be out there all day, and he be making a lot of our female customers feel uncomfortable because he'd be like pressing them for a couple dollars. So now if you buy them something to eat, you're going to encourage them to keep standing out there. So no, you know what I'm saying, we're not going to do it. So it's like, I was pissed off, and I ain't go back to that Coney for a minute, for a couple years maybe. But you know what I'm saying, I didn't rock with it, but I get the logic behind it. Like, if y'all keep giving him money, he gonna keep standing out there.
Right, but I mean, if he's hungry, he needs help. Why not?
This is the difference here, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I went in the Guitar Center or whatever, because like I said, I was always up and down. Like, it's a street called Boulevard. You can't really tell like which one you on. You know which side of the city is. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know how Outer Drive is here.
Right.
That's how Boulevard is in Montgomery. So, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it would switch between South Boulevard and like North or Northeast Boulevard or something weird like that around where the Guitar Center was. But it wasn't far from where I stayed. So I was at Guitar Center all the time. And it was right there. So I'm like, okay, when I rolled past, he wasn't out there. I was probably in there for like maybe a half hour, 45 minutes because I was looking for something in particular. And when I came back out and decided I was hungry, I rolled back around, whipped over into that little parking lot. He was right there, and he had a basket with bags of clothes.
Yeah.
So it was like I've been standing there all day. The fact of the matter,
know.
Listen, if you're a Christian, and this is like my biggest gripe with the Christian faith. One of the things that a lot of Christians ignore is that you ain't supposed to judge people.
That's not true. That's what a lot of people who are not Christians say. As a Christian,
I think that's just people who haven't read the Bible say.
No, that's what I'm saying. The church. Listen. You're going to be judged by people regardless, because even when you listen to your old grandma, whoever the fuck, and she be like, okay, well, yeah, they talked about Jesus. Jesus was getting judged by people too.
But even the scripture that everybody quotes, they forget what it says. It says, "Judge not, lest ye be judged first." So it don't say don't judge.
But let's take it. It even tells us, I don't even know what scripture it is exactly, but it even says no one can judge you, but you can judge everyone. When it talks about us being the mind and the spirit of God, it also says you can judge everyone, but no one can judge you.
I see the
and we're all capable of judgment. We're all capable of it. Everyone judges everything. You have to have judgment. You have to use your judgment on a day-to-day to decipher what's wrong, what's right, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So that terminology, only God can judge me.
You live in the fucking Bible Belt. You hear me?
Because
you hear me? No, it's all good until you live in the Bible Belt.
No, I was born, bro. I was born in Jasper, Alabama, my G.
Okay,
I grew up. Okay, so I know I lived in Gewin and Bazemore, so my family is from Alabama. I know what it's like.
You understand?
Yeah. So, but the thing about it is, we have to be careful when we talk. We don't have to be. Let me take that back. But we're talking about what the Bible says, like understanding, because the Bible also says, "Teach a man to fish." You know what I'm saying? So when he's standing outside the Chick-fil-A, they ain't teaching him to fish. They're giving him, feed a man. You eat for a day, teach him to fish, you eat for a lifetime. So we can always run to the Bible to justify whatever. We can run to the Bible and justify slavery. We can run to you know what I'm saying? So we can justify anything if we want to use a quote, but we understand that words have different meanings based on how they're used. When they say only God can judge me, they're talking about judgment as far as heaven or hell.
Listen. I actually use this way.
People judge you on that on the basis every day.
Hold on.
Anyway.
No, they don't.
Hold on, I'm about to tell you a word that can mean multiple things within the Bible.
Yeah.
And you know the word no, K-N-O-W.
Yeah.
That can be used
to mean sex.
or it's to actually be knowledgeable of a person, or like I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of things. Like you know what I'm
I
like so we
remember that.
like somebody threw me the fuck off one day. They was like, "So do you know we're in a biblical sense?" I was like, "What the fuck is that
Yeah,
supposed to mean?" Right? Now
yeah,
at the point I heard that, I was like, "Wait, what's that supposed to mean?" Right?
exactly. And
And when it got explained to me, I was like, oh, "Okay, got you, got." You.
yeah, I remember that.
Like, oh, so like me being me, especially at 18, I was like, "Oh, you asking did I fuck her?" Like you know
That's
what
exactly what it was.
it was like, oh, got you. It was like, well, yeah, something like that. I was like, well, no, I didn't know it like that, but you know,
Yeah,
whatever. I mean,
nah.
it was just funny for me to be fucking with people. I don't know. I was just like, I mean,
Right.
but
And
I
the
didn't.
Bible an easy target, man. It's easy to shoot
Get
at the
it.
Bible because it's so weird and messed up and like
That's what I said. I would love to get my hands on, like, let's say the original transcripts before Constantine touched it,
let me ask you this.
and
Let me
before
ask
a
you
bunch
about
of
this
other people touched it.
since we on this topic. Let me ask you this. Let's
Hmm.
say for instance, if you had the answer, right? If you knew 100% that whether or not God existed or not, and you had empirical evidence to prove that he was either here or he wasn't, would you notify the people or not? If you knew you had the evidence that could prove it, listen, there is a God and I know how to prove it, boom. Or no, there is not a God and I can prove it, boom. Would you share that information or would you keep it to yourself?
I mean, quite honestly, I would probably share it, but it's not that I doubt that God exists.
So
I
I'm just
don't
saying,
doubt
like,
that. I mean, it's just I doubt that some of the people exist or existed, I should say. I doubt that a lot of certain like I doubt a lot of shit actually happened the way that it was said because it's been brought up and so I mean like the reason I don't doubt that it was that certain shit happened, but I doubt that it happened between this person and this person is because there were like there's records that predate all of this shit. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of this
Right.
shit is like a continued ass religion. So when you hear like okay, like I don't know if you personally like I watch like those little ghost hunter shows and all that kind of weird shit. And at the same time, it's like okay, where it's like okay, well, it's an ancient spirit. It's an ancient spirit. Well, I mean, technically, well, shit, if you are like a Christian, you're worshiping an ancient spirit. That doesn't necessarily make that a bad spirit. Like you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of things that are parallel to each other, and it's like okay, at some point you got to realize certain shit ain't a lie.
I feel like who fucking cares anymore? I'm just tired of the whole discussion, honestly. We keep having the same fucking talk over and over and over again. And I found this I was just looking for videos, inspiration videos and shit recently.
Mhm.
Found this Indian mystic and he said I mean, he didn't say who fucking cares, but he pretty much just said who cares. Like even if there is a heaven, even if there is a God, he's not going to lift his finger for us. Even if we did come face to face with God, we wouldn't really believe it. We would want to question him, like you asked me. We would want to find the proof. We wouldn't
I
just
mean,
do what we're
basically,
supposed to
And
do and
see,
just,
so
based
hold
I'm
on.
on the
some champagne
Bible
in this
and bow
body.
So
down and have that
so
faith in him.
yeah,
You
so
hear me? Some champagne in this body.
here's the thing, right? So when you say, and this is why an Indian mystic can be just as ignorant as a
Yeah.
nigga in the yak standing in on the
Yeah.
corner, right? And this is what made me
Yeah.
pose the question because I used to work in the plant with this dude from my
Mhm.
city who did 15 years in jail, and like
Mhm.
like at the time he's like 10 years older than me. So I knew his name because his name rung bells in the streets. Hardcore
Right.
street nigga, right? Street nigga through and through. I mean, Omar minus the gay shit. Like he was on
Mhm.
that tip, and like yeah, he
Oh,
he, he was the fucking boogeyman, right?
right.
And So he got caught up in a situation where got him locked up. He done plenty of crimes, plenty of murders,
Mhm.
plenty of whatever. But he got caught up because somebody snitched on a situation, and what they snitched on him on was something that he didn't do. He ended up doing, I think, it was somewhere between 10 and 15 years. I don't know how many.
Damn.
While in jail, he found God. Bro, he said his first day out of jail, he saw the dude who snitched on him. And he was like, bro, all that anger and aggression that I
Came
thought I
back.
had let go came
Mhm.
right
Yeah.
back. And he said, the only reason I didn't take this dude's life at that exact moment was because of my faith. So when you say who cares,
Right.
people who are still alive due to the restraint of those who believe in
Mhm.
Christ care,
Right.
right? People who now have a purpose for living because of that belief
Mhm.
care. So
Right.
now, if you had the ability to say, I can prove this, and now by me proving that he's here will maybe strengthen the resolve of other people and
Mhm.
artificially help them make the world a better place, would you do it? Or would you tear that man's whole entire belief system down and be like, my bad, bruh. That shit ain't even real. And here's the proof. And now
No,
this dude who
definitely
the
not.
only reason he not back out here catching bodies and doing what he was doing was
Mhm.
because of that. You have now removed that. So if you had
Right.
the ability to make that call, do
Mhm.
would you make that call? Or
And
would you be
that
like,
makes a lot of sense.
nah, that's not my call to make?
Yeah.
That
You said
makes
what?
Um. I would still say who cares. It's not my call to make for other
I mean,
people.
I
I
wouldn't.
don't.
I
I don't
wouldn't.
think it would. I wouldn't wanna. I
Who
wouldn't
cares?
want to be the person to pull that plug because I didn't finish my. Here's the thing: if you want to believe in God, if you want to believe in yourself, it doesn't matter. You can have faith in God. You can extract those things to a higher being if you want to, or you can keep the faith within yourself and believe that it's all you.
But
Nah,
It
how
doesn't
hold
matter.
on, wait,
how
wait, wait.
If you
doesn't
can
Hold
believe what you
on.
want to
Nah, hold on.
believe, but I've come to the point where I don't want to debate anyone with what they believe. I don't want to try to
but
turn you away. If I
Okay.
know,
but
Hold
here's the
I
thing though.
know.
Here's what we're
hold on. Let
hold on,
me.
Ed. Hold on. Let
Uh-huh.
me respond because of the question. Here's what we're doing, right? So when you say we've had the conversation. I'm new to the pod, so I haven't always
Yeah.
had the conversation with you guys. But when you say we keep having the same conversation, is because
Mhm.
we're not answering the questions asked. So like we understand that 2 plus 2 is 4, right? So there's no
Right.
belief that 2 plus 2 is 4 because we actually have the answers. So when now
Right.
somebody comes to tell you 2 plus 2 is 5, you're not like, okay, believe what you want to believe.
Mhm.
You like, no, I gave you $2 here, $2 there. I gave you 4. That's what it is.
Right.
So if you say you believe what you want to believe, it's not
Mhm.
belief if you have the answers, right?
Right, but to someone who has faith and who believes so strongly in what they believe, when they believe
Uh-huh.
so strongly that they know, it's hard to turn someone away from that faith. We see it day in, day out. We have so much
Who?
technology,
So
so
tell
much
me this:
information now.
Who
Hold on. No,
has
no, no. See,
the
I
who
was about to
has
leave.
the evidence that proves that? That's why the question was asked the way it was. We all
Right,
believe because there's a lack of evidence. So I believe
right.
in my lions every year,
Mhm.
you know, based on the lack of evidence.
Shit.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
right. Now,
You
see, this is
believe
Right.
in something.
True.
this is the way I look at it, right? Like where your response was like, "Who cares?" My response is, "I don't give a fuck." So it's a difference, right? Like so, that's it's like okay, where it's like you asked the question, you opened up that door for a
Mhm.
response. I don't. You see what I'm saying? It's like okay, I'm
You
just
don't
like
what?
okay. I said I don't open up the door for a response because it's like okay, where her question was, um, who cares or who gives a fuck or whatever. I don't. I just come out simply and say pretty much I don't give a fuck.
You don't
Like
give a
okay,
fuck about what?
just the idea. It's like okay, if I have my ideology and you have
There's
your
no ideology when there's
No,
two.
but the question is, he's saying that he knows that
no,
you
what I
know
said.
for a
No,
fact.
wait. This is what
That's what
this.
you tell
Trying to
people.
respond. Listen, what I was trying to respond when I was trying to respond, it would have made more sense. But it was like Terrence told me he was like, "Hold on, bro, hold on." I'm like, "All right," like,
And
but
here's why. Let me. Oh my
where
bad. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
that's all it was. It was like the conversation. a little bit different. That's all it was. So when I popped back in, because I was trying to hold that thought, like you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Okay. So it's like, okay, honestly, if you have a person that's set in their ideas, 9 times out of 10, you won't be able to pull that person out of their ideas. They aren't going to believe necessarily what you believe. And I've gotten to a point. This is where it got to with me. It's like, as a person, what do you like? Okay, so if you're a Christian, Muslim, a Jew, whatever the fuck you may be, 9 times out of 10, it's almost damn near the same shit anyway. Like I believe, like personally, like I believe in God, but I don't necessarily believe in religion. That's right. I do believe in good, and I believe in bad. I believe in like all of that type of shit. I believe in energy and that type of thing. Like okay, yeah, the earth fucks around and feeds, right?
Mm,
So I have like a combination of shit, damn near everything that everybody believes in
mm.
running through me. It's like okay, I'm cool with it. So at the end of the day, when it gets down to like the back and forth type shit, when it's like okay, you like this and that, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we can move. Yeah, we can move. Like, because the question had nothing to do with the back and forth. You said, if you have the information, do you share the
Right. Just
information?
if
Yes.
you
No,
have
That
the
was
proof,
basically
do you
it.
share
and
them?
That was
I said yeah, I would.
it.
If I actually
Like,
had total proof, yeah.
so it was like, I just noticed that us as people in general, moving off from the religion thing, like, we're
Hmm.
cool being something, but we don't like the name, right? And I was talking to my homeboy, we was having a conversation about rape, right? And I asked him, you know, how would you feel if you were called a rapist? He's like, yeah, that'd make me feel sad, boy, I ain't no fucking rapist, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, so have you ever raped somebody? He said, no. I said, so let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a situation where you were had a female, y'all been talking all week, texting, I come over, it's going down. We doing this, we doing that, yada, yada, yada. She get over there, y'all get it popping. Soon as you slide in, she say, you know what? I don't know about this. If you do anything other than pull out and stop right then, it is rape
You're a
because
rapist.
consent has been withdrawn. Well, hold on. Well, that's different, though. No, 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 no. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever raped anybody? I'm saying when you word it like that, we all done, and it is like, okay, so you cool with the act of trying to, oh, let me try to kiss on her neck and get her back in the mood. Let me just try to lead her head in. You cool with all that type of shit. But when I tell you doing all that shit is rape, now you have a problem. And it's like I just noticed that with us a lot of time where we're cool with the act, but we not okay with the title or the responsibility that comes with
Right.
the act. And that
You
creates
got,
a whole bigger conversation that we never for some reason want to have. And
I
that's
think
where
what it is you pointed out a mentality as opposed to the act itself. Like you know what I'm saying? Like okay,
Mhm.
cause like um my sister got raped when she was 17.
Oh wow. Sorry to hear that.
When if I'm dealing with a female and she be like, no, I don't know about this. I'm like, all right, well, I'll holler at you later. I'll get up and leave
Yeah. And I'm on
because
this
like
36 year
I
old
don't want
me.
to be mixed up. I don't want to be mixed up in that idea. You know,
36-year-old me understands that. 25-year-old me might not have understood that. You know what I'm saying? It might have been, well, let me see if I can, what I'm saying, what's wrong? You know what I'm saying? Want me to put some Johnny Gill on? Like, it would have been all type of other
25
shit.
year old 25-year-old me would have waited for you to call me back 6 weeks later.
In the moment,
In the moment,
I mean,
shit. In the moment, I was nigga. No, I was up. I was out because I didn't want to
well, yeah,
be in that motherfucking situation.
you had a different mentality. Like if a chick said, I don't know, did that little stop. Wait, what are we gonna be after this? Wait, do you really like me? Like, bruh.
All right, no, it's time to go. Like, yeah, that was that's it. That was me.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't me back then. You know what I'm saying? But as you grow, you learn. That definitely wasn't a lot of people, but it's just like, okay, you have to actually get to that point with whatever topic we're talking about, being real about the topic and actually discussing it for what it's worth.
Mm.
So I'm like, I mean, it's a heavy ass. Now that's a heavy ass topic,
I'm just
but
trying to figure out who puts themselves in that situation in the first place. I mean,
people.
yeah, if she says stop, stop, definitely stop. There is no excuse for that, but why not have that
Listen,
discussion
listen.
before you even get to the point where y'all
You gotta
We we
understand
we,
how that. You
we
gotta
all live in America,
understand.
right? We
Hold on,
we
wait,
all
wait,
live in the same country.
Robin.
man, what the fuck?
I would listen. I would never fuck around and defend a rapist, but I will defend a confused nigga, right?
No.
So
No,
listen.
and
No,
what
no,
I'm
no,
saying.
no.
Go ahead,
Wait.
go ahead, go
What
ahead.
I'm saying. When you dealing with a motherfucker, okay, where it's like, okay, she was talking all kind of shit, she was all playful and this and that, like, and then you get over there and it's like she's still being playful, saying, "Nah, quit playing, quit playing." I get the fuck up. I dip, and then they were like, "Why you leave me?" You said no. Well, now everybody ain't gonna pick up on the fact that it's just like they ain't gonna take this the way I take it. You see what I'm saying? Because of what I
Yeah,
just.
Yeah.
yeah. And what I'm saying is the situation that I'm referring to was they got over there, the chick let dude penetrate in
And it was a flat out
mid
no.
act, she was like, I don't know. Like
Yeah,
at
I'm
that point, you know what I'm saying? At that point, it's like if you do anything other than pull out immediately, that's rape. If you try to get one more pump in, like, are you sure? And try to be smooth, like that's rape. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? If there was just one extra pump, I told him to stop and he didn't stop. And that's rape.
Yep.
And now technically you're a rapist.
yeah. Yeah, technically you're a rapist.
So it's just like, but just about every dude I asked that question to, like in that situation, they was cool with the situation. They was like, oh, so you're a rapist. Well, no, but I'm saying though.
Mm.
It's like, bro, there's no but I'm saying though. It's like you are not. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
A lot of these,
of
and
course,
when you have,
at
Mm.
that point, okay, so yeah, technically you are a rapist, but to be like, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
to just be like, okay, I'm gonna keep going and going and going, and this motherfucker said no.
but
That,
that's why
you know what I'm saying?
that's the only reason I tied it into the religion, because in religion, what they say, one sin is no bigger than the other, right? So it's like in
Mhm.
rape, one pump is no different than a million. It's like, bro, you still raped. Like it
Right.
still is
That's what
what it
I'm
is.
saying. Like, you know,
Well, I must say that this is going to be a very interesting new year.
every New Year is a very interesting New Year.
Yeah. Same shit, different day, pretty much.
I mean, I don't see it that way. I see it this way.
No.
People make a lot of resolutions, but the main resolution they should be making is to make resolutions to find solutions instead of coming up with all this bullshit. Yeah, I'm gonna quit doing this,
Right.
quit doing that.
Wait, what did he say? He said being right doesn't always solve the problem, and solving the problem isn't always doing what's right. So do you want to be right or do you want to solve a fucking problem? Mr. Project Logic, bars as fuck.
Mr. Project Logic.
There you go. You know what? I wanted to bring that back this year, and we did not. The mental health episode. It's okay, to see a therapist, seek counseling. You feel
Yeah,
like you have mental health issues. If you don't have anyone else to talk to and you want to talk to someone, find someone to talk to. It's all right.
just don't talk
Seek
to me
help.
because I ain't no help.
Yeah, he probably
So
gonna
I
tell
like,
your ass to jump and type
no,
shit.
I ain't gonna.
Fuck
Like,
it.
I wouldn't tell you to
You can
do
hit
nothing.
me up anytime, but yeah, he probably
I ain't gonna tell you nothing bad, but
not him.
See, I'm just gonna sit
fuck.
there and listen. I'm gonna sit there and listen to you, and I probably ain't got no. I'm kind of fucked
Hey,
up my damn self, so I'm like,
your
hey,
ass
what?
so red. What the fuck you want me to say?
It's like, okay, no, don't kill yourself. Well, why not? Well, you're a good person. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's like that's not very, helpful.
Yeah,
Find a
not
professional.
really. No. Yes, professionals. In
Find
your
a.
area, you might have some free clinics where you can go get services. Look it up if you don't have health insurance.
It's like I be trying to be helpful, but it's like if anybody ever dealt with me, they know damn well I really try my hardest not to give nobody advice on shit, cause
Yeah. This one lady on Twitter, when I was heavy into Twitter, she asked me, "Oh, do you give relationship advice?" And I'm like, "I'm not even in a relationship. Like, I'm gonna give you advice on yours." Like, no.
like no, I just been through. I can tell you what to look
Right.
sometimes, but
Right. I
damn,
can tell you what the fuck I did, but no, I can't.
tell you how to
No.
sustain shit.
Go see a therapist. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't help you.
Now, if you
Oh
ask
shit.
me how to keep it going, I don't know. I made it last for like a week and a half. Shit.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I mean, shit. Like, yeah, definitely. Like, don't quit. I don't know why black people do that. I mean, I kind of understand why black people do it, but like,
all
I
you
can't
need is
rely on
God.
my friends. I can't rely on my friends and be like, hey,
Mm-mm.
so I can't act like unless my friend is like 60 and been married for like 25, 30 years. I can't ask my friend for marital advice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm a no. Mm-mm. Okay. Yes.
I can't ask. I can't give anybody advice as far as like, okay, well, I can't give marital advice. Shit, my marriage actually lasted about what 5 years, and it was
Yeah.
shitty the whole time, basically. So,
Yeah. That's
uh,
when you should have taken that premarital advice, though. That's all I'm saying.
I'm, that's what I'm saying.
So,
Like, if
right
you take
there, you
everybody,
know.
if you take everybody premarital advice and shit, you would be the most confused motherfucker in the world. It's like, okay, still gotta do what you feel is good for you at the moment.
Nah, my nigga, if everybody say the same
But
shit, it's about time.
that's the thing. Like everybody wants to say the same shit.
Oh shit, that's
So
terrible. We should have
right.
all
So
come on one accord with that one. We should have
like,
had a meeting of the players
don't,
with that one.
like if all of the circumstances were like explained completely beforehand, you know what I'm saying, by both parties, then everybody would have been like, oh well, shit, y'all might want to wait.
Right. Right, just went out a little bit longer. Fuck that shit.
Right, like yeah, let the baby be born first. Like you know what I'm saying, something. Like you know what I'm saying, but something. It would have been like I probably would have paused out like a little bit, but like I said, the she in my
What
situation,
the bitch?
right, she played a role. She played a role. She really did. That motherfucker played a role, and then when we got married, shit went left. And see, I wasn't hip to adult until too late.
Okay, my bad. I'm
You
sorry.
know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't hip to the annulment laws until too late. So I was like,
You'll
ain't
be
this a
alright.
bitch? But I was like, all right, fuck it. I gotta roll with the punches. Like,
Life's a bitch, and then we
like
die. So
it
shit, fuck
happened.
it. Who cares? You'll be alright. Keep it trucking.
I don't. I, okay, so like, I don't know if either one of y'all been. Well, I know you ain't been married, Robin. You been married, bro.
Mm-mm.
Well, that's what I'm like. See, listen, me at this point, nigga, marriage is nigga. That's a whole taboo subject now. Like shit. Well, like back in the day, like motherfuckers be like, okay, premarital sex and all that type of shit was taboo. Nigga, being married is taboo to me now. Shit, like once I went through it, yeah, that was an experience. But yeah, that changed a lot of people. What I would have never liked.
I have no clue what you're talking about. Okay, thank you for that. little tidbit of information. I'm very tired. Mostly because I had some weed gumbo and then a blunt and then some Merlot.
Weed gumbo.
Yes, that shit is fucking good as fuck. Dude. Oh my god. Oh, it's delicious. Weed gumbo. They should legalize marijuana.
They should. Somebody just asked a question on Facebook, right? They said, "Would you ever agree to do a reality show?"
Fuck yeah.
I live a reality show every day. It's called Robin's World. What you mean?
I just can't wait to go to that end of the season thing when everybody fight. The end of the season review.
Right.
I just want to tell that nigga Michael, he was talking all that shit. It's whatever.
I'm here now,
whenever,
nigga.
wherever,
Nigga.
on game.
Right.
Nigga facts, flat out. Follow my Instagram.
I'm gonna pop his top.
Like, talking so reckless on the end of season review. Like, dude, Drea.
You know what? Let's start our own reality show called Awkward Menage, and we just have 3 random people live together in a tiny house.
Oh fuck!
Wow.
Oh man, it was already at one point. Shit, we should film that.
We could call that shit Brightmo.
Right, exactly. There you go. Lydia Way. Shit, you can take the old Huber Elementary School right there.
Hey, look, hold on. He said we can call it Brightmo. I'm the outsider. Like,
yeah, true, very true. Oh, we could, Brightmo, and then it's just like survival, but with just like 3 people.
Right. I got
Survivor.
Yeah, yep, there you go. Survivor.
Right, because nowadays, nigga, no houses, so them motherfuckers, they over there fucked up. Well, no, like my response was, if it was actually reality, I would jump into a reality show.
That shit would be so boring if it was actually
what it
No, not in my house. If it was actual reality in my house, y'all got content for fucking days.
Man, we'd get about 3 episodes.
Man, my kids the most random motherfuckers ever.
Be like 3 good episodes, and then a bunch of episodes of just blunt smoke and hip hop.
Pretty much, yeah.
My day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing today.
A little girl who does TikToks all day. A little boy who has a Black Pride parade and wants to scream Black Power. Another little boy who just sits there on the computer, and then one who, just runs around in circles for no apparent reason at all.
See, and I got a baby mama that overreacts. I got a baby mama that overreacts about the kid, one kid needing glasses and all kind of shit. No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. Like the whole thing is, it's like, okay, reality shows nowadays are just like built off of complete drama.
Yeah, you have a script and everything. It's not real life.
Yeah,
it's just like wrestling. It's fake, you know. Like if you actually watched a real wrestling match in college, you would be bored out of your fucking mind.
Like what was man's name?
Nobody get through over the top ropes in college. Like,
right? You know what I'm saying? You get all on the mat all the entire time. Nobody flies or jumps or hits anybody with the chair.
Nobody. You can't throw them little punches, bro. Like, what is this? Roman Greco? What? Y'all Stone Cold out here? That's some bullshit. Like,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, okay. For me, it's like, okay, if it's like actual reality. Like, remember when the real world
first? But that was scripted too. They did the behind the scenes on all that. Like, real world road rules.
Oh no, I'm talking about that first season was kind of like Big Brother, where it was just whatever the fuck was going on, and people was just watching, like, what the fuck? Like, that got people all involved in everybody else's lives on some real shit, though, but it was like, motherfuckers was watching that shit. I remember going to school, and people was like, did you see the real world?
I used to watch the fuck out of that.
When you watch, like, that first when you watch that first episode, you can tell that shit wasn't scripted. They just threw a bunch of motherfuckers in the house.
Hey,
After
all
that,
them MTV
Yeah.
shows used to
listen,
be
after after that, I don't know. Like, shit, like, Real World, they started doing Real World Atlanta just like they doing the Real Housewives and shit now. But
Mm.
originally, no, them first two seasons, maybe. Like, when I went back and watched them, I was like, damn, these motherfuckers wasn't acting. They was mad for real.
yeah, they
Mad.
had a
Hey,
they had a
Dave Chappelle
script.
did it. The Mad Real World.
Yeah,
Had to
they
Man.
get
had a
them big old
script, but
titties.
they was first.
Yeah, they always.
I used to want to be on Real World so bad back in the day.
Me too. Me too. That was the shit.
Nah,
That was the shit.
I can tell you when it really started getting stupid. Like, you remember when the old boy Tech or whatever was on there, the black dude with the blonde hair or whatever the fuck, the kind of
Yeah,
like, yeah. That's when shit started going stupid.
he ended up being a host on like a VJ or something on MTV.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like at that,
I remember when they had the VJ.
but like that first episode was like what 97, 98, nigga.
Yeah, it
Bruh.
was out for a
Just
while.
new shit. They threw that shit out there and it worked.
And they had
Well,
some shit stuff.
we should definitely do it. I would totally be on a reality show, but I want to be the writer
Y'all remember
or
that show
producer and
MTV
director.
used to have that Room Raider shit?
I remember that
Mm.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to go on a blind date with somebody, but you had to go in their room and rummage through all their
Right,
shit.
go through their drawers.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, right. That's yeah. I remember that dumbass show.
Bruh, I used to watch all that shit.
Like, look. I've been watching like all these catfish episodes, and they funny as shit, right?
Do you know what I was
Yeah,
watching back then? I was watching that fucking Celebrity Death Match. That was my shit. I
that used
caught
to be
that
Man,
all
that
the
was
time.
the shit. That was the
Fucking
shit.
Daria was my shit. Like I was
I
yeah,
never
I was
got
big
into
into
Daria.
cartoons then. I love Daria.
She
Look,
was
real
too
talk.
graphic.
I
Yo,
did.
to this day, when I see Daria on some streaming service, I watch that shit.
I didn't even have cable till I was 16. So a lot of the shit y'all be talking about, I'd be lost,
Oh wow.
right? Because my parents was cheap as shit. So it was like,
Uh-huh.
okay, they had the money to
I
do it.
know that.
Oh, they wasn't paying for no cable.
Nope.
So we
Well,
was out.
guys, we are at about 1 hour and 10 seconds, and I am very tired. I have been tired for a while. Can you move the table? Does anyone have any final thoughts on all these random ass fucking topics and shit?
Hey, all our random ass topics just meant that we was all just kind of kicking it. Fuck it. Be true to yourself. That's all that fucking matter. Don't worry about
Right.
shit, man. Big.
All that matters is you.
All that matters is you. Fuck everything
Yep.
else.
Why not? Fuck it.
Fuck it.
That's
Can't
it.
control anybody else but yourself.
Even if you can't control yourself.
Yeah, you better
Listen,
learn how.
yeah. So at some point, you got.
Uh,
You don't
at
want
some
the world to
point.
control you. That's a damn good. That's a very good fucking point.
Yep. I think that's just the main point, period. Whether you're spiritual, religious, it's just don't let the world control you. Control yourself. That's the one thing we
Bars.
all got to learn to do.
This nigga said bars.
That's facts.
Real
All
shit.
right, y'all. Well, till the next one, I will talk to y'all later. Peace.
AMP out.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.